Happy 2025, everybody.
Yeah, we're a little late.
Welcome to Tale of Two Thrifters. I'm John.
I'm Jen.
And if this is your first time watching us, we are full-time online resellers. We started our journey in June of 2024. And we're basically, in this video, going to talk about our numbers from basically all of last year. Even though I started full-time in June, Jen has been selling for all of last year.
Part-time.
Yeah, and so we're going to break down our sales by platform. That's eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And we're going to share with you the 6 things that we've learned in 2024 about reselling. So hopefully this will be helpful to you. And if you have anything you'd like to add to it, put it in the comments below, because we're learning.
Right.
Let's talk about if you are entertaining the idea of doing online reselling, where do you need to start?
What do you need to get started?
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a phone or a camera.
A smartphone.
A way to access the apps, eBay, your online platforms. You need good lighting. So a lot of people take their pictures outside, and that's perfectly fine. You need supplies, shipping supplies. You need inventory. So you got to go out and find your inventory.
And a system.
Yeah, and a system.
To keep it organized.
I would suggest on inventory that really, if you're just getting into it, that you just start looking for things that you need to get rid of around your house first.
Yeah, that's always a good place to start.
Yeah. So you don't go out and buy a bunch of stuff and then you don't want to do this. But that way you're kind of, weeding the things out of your house that you need to get rid of anyway. But I would start there, which I didn't, but I would.
And a way to print postage.
Yes. So you either need a printer or you need like a Rollo printer. Isn't that what it's called? Rollo? Yeah. That prints labels. So
and we're still saving up for ours because they're not cheap.
Yeah, they are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need a printer. Cleaning supplies.
Yes.
But it really depends on what you're selling. If you're going to be selling clothes, then you need things appropriate for cleaning clothes. If you're going to do shoes, then you need a lot of stuff actually for shoes. There's a lot of things we use to clean shoes, or hard goods, or maybe you're into electronics. There may be special things you need to clean whatever it is you're selling. So take all that into consideration before you ever jump in. Because once you jump in, you don't have these things, it becomes frustrating and then you want to quit. So,
And of course, you're going to want to focus on areas that you know well. Mm-hmm. I mean, use your experience and your knowledge to help sell those items.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that I know a lot about some of the things that I'm selling.
Yeah, but we're always learning. But a good place to start is what you have, what you can talk to other people about, that you can sell.
My first journey down this road years and years ago was purses. I concentrated on purses, name brand designer purses, because I loved purses and I learned a lot about purses. So that was a good place for me to start. And when John first started, I'm trying to think of the things you were picking up.
I sold those die-cast truck models.
Yeah, but there was something else that you were interested in, that you were always, kind of looking in that direction.
I'm a jack of all trades and master of none.
No, there were things. It seems like it was electronics.
Well,
electronic type things.
Yeah, some.
That you focused more on.
Yeah.
That you had more of an interest
I'm more of the hard goods kind of thing. So, and then the last thing that you need to really get started is space. Whether that is a good place in your house or outside to take pictures. And then a space to store your inventory.
Yes, that's big. If you have an extra room in your house, set it up with some kind of shelving or, totes or something. And we found that we did not originally set up our inventory system the way that we should have. And
it really got a hold of us.
It makes it very difficult as you go further in. So my suggestion to you is figure out that system ahead of time. And that kind of falls into the 6 things that we've learned this year too that we're going to be talking about. So anyway, with that said, the 6 things, are we done with what we think you need to get started?
Get started.
Yeah.
Right. So let's jump into the 6 things we've learned.
Yeah. I think that the number one thing that we learned this year is that we don't do enough research, and you should do research. Lots and lots of research.
Just because you think you know what the value or what something can sell for, it may not necessarily be true. Mm-hmm. So if you're out there and you're looking at buying things, make sure that if you don't know what you're picking up, do the research. Pull out your phone, look at eBay, and here's the biggest mistake I think people make is when they're looking on eBay for that particular item, they'll look at see what all the active listings are. Mm-hmm. And they'll go, oh man, it's worth this much money. All you need to do is go check your filter and click on sold items or completed items, and you're going to see the actual selling price of that item for the past 90 days.
Which could vary greatly from the active items, because people can get on, and they can just list something for any price they want. That doesn't mean it's going to sell. So you really have to do that.
Yeah.
And figure out what the true selling price would be.
And then you kind of got to work backwards. It's like, okay, if this item can sell for $25, what am I going to pay for it? Mm-hmm. So you got cost of goods, and you also have your selling fees by the platform. Those selling fees can be as low as, 12%, or as high as 25%, or higher, depending on if you go to other platforms that we don't really sell on.
Right.
So do your research. So if you're at a garage sale or at a thrift store, get the stuff, put in your cart or whatever the case is, and go off to the side or the corner and just start looking.
I've done that many times.
Yeah, and see if it's worth purchasing. And the other thing is, in doing your research, is look at other people's stores or closets or listings. And if there's a way to see what has sold, then it'll give you an idea. Like, okay, why did this sell? The pictures were great. The title had all the bit of information in it. There weren't just 2 pictures. There was pictures from every angle. You show the good, bad, and ugly of everything, and be completely honest about representing that item, right?
Yeah, you don't want to list something that's not honest, because what's going to happen is it's going to get returned, and that messes you up. That's not good, and it's just not a good business practice. If something has a hole in it, say it has a hole in it. But you'd be surprised if you think, oh, well, I bought this and I'm going to sell it, so maybe I shouldn't say it has a hole in it. Maybe they won't see it. I don't know what your thought process may be, and I need to get it sold or whatever. But in truth, they're going to see it. And then they're going to be angry.
Suck.
And they do suck.
And bad feedback sucks.
You're better just to be completely honest. And you'd be surprised with some brands, it can have a hole in it. People don't care. Mm-hmm. Or a piece of it could be broken or whatever, and people don't care because they really want that item. So, just because something's damaged doesn't mean it won't sell.
Yeah. And know your brands. Like if you come across a bunch of Levi's, that have their zippers, you're like, wow, these are great. You might sell them for $10, as opposed to Mother jeans. And a Bose radio and CD player is going to sell better than, say, Fisher-Price, which will sit on your shelf forever. So know your brands. And if it's an area that you're interested in, do your research.
Definitely.
So that's number 1. Number 2.
Things don't always pan out the way that you think they're going to.
What do you mean?
So we've learned that, things just don't pan out the way they're supposed to, or the way you want them to. For instance, like, it just hasn't panned out for me to work this year the way that I needed to.
Lots of la-la duties.
Lots of things have changed in our lives, so things don't always pan out. but that doesn't mean you can't
adjust
to that. So just go in understanding that just because this is your goal and this is what you want, it may not pan out, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so that leads us into thing number 3, which is you want to, even though it could be random, how there might be a little bit of hiccups in trying to do this business, try to set and stick to your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And just like we were mentioning about number 2, things don't always pan out,
Mm-hmm.
you got to make it where you can adjust accordingly.
And if you fail at that, which I have many, many times this year, keep trying again until you get it. Just keep going back and trying again. Because right now, I'm a loser in my book because my schedule has been so messed up. I'm not listing like I should be. I haven't set a schedule and stuck to it. So in my mind, I've lost this game for this past year. I have a new year coming now.
Yeah, so
Y'all know I'm glass half full.
if you think we're being vague about, well, what do you mean stick, or set and stick to your schedule? So it could be, hey, from this time to this time or this day, I'm going to do sourcing.
Mm-hmm.
From this time to this time or this day or this every day this week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm going to be listing. Or I've got to list 10 items this week. I've got to list 30 items, whatever it is.
Write it down.
Yeah, and tape it onto your wall or to your bathroom mirror or something.
If you plan to fail, you fail. No, if you
fail
fail
to
to plan,
plan,
you plan to fail. And I have not been so good. I did buy a planner, which some people say, why don't you just use your phone? Because my brain works differently and I have to write things down. John uses spreadsheets. I use notebook paper. I mean, we are totally night and day. I do Poshmark and Macari. He does eBay. He keeps all of his stuff on spreadsheets. I keep all of mine in a notebook. We're different. And, you know how you learn or what works for you. Stick with it.
And this is going to come about. You're going to learn as you go through the process. And really, I guess going back to what do you need to get started is desire.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Nike logo or slogan, just do it. Just get out there and do it. And that pertains to really anything in life.
But I will say, don't just do it full time. If you have a job, don't quit your day job.
Yeah, because
It
things
takes
don't
a
pan
while.
out.
It takes a while to build up to a full-time income. We're not there yet.
Nope,
Not at all.
So one of those tasks, and this is going to number 4 of the 6 things learned, is you need to engage with your platform on a daily basis.
Every day.
And what that means is there is an algorithm to each of those platforms, eBay, Poshmark, Macari. So you have to either list or you have to adjust your pricing up and down. You want to run sales. You want to offer discount codes, coupons, whatever those kind of things are, because the platform will see that and reward your efforts because it's like they are trying to sell. That's what you're trying to show them. I'm on your platform. I'm trying to sell these items. And the platforms will look at that and go, oh, okay. So the next time you list an item, they're going to drive buyers to that item.
It's just about engagement. And it's all in the algorithm. It's not like there's a person sitting out there going, oh, he's working hard. Let me give him some brownie points. It's not like that.
And I did not know that. When I started listing on eBay, I didn't know that there was some algorithm, but when I first started, I was listing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because of those activities that had generated some early successes. But then life got in the way.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, if you do not list something daily, set your goals for whatever you want, 1 item a day. But if you do not list daily, you will fail.
Yeah.
You will fail. And I'm in that failure mode. I am not listing daily, and I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. And I'm going to change that because I know that's what brings on success for me. I've got the hiccups so bad. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
and part of this is
Oh my
that
goodness.
we are business owners. We own Tale of Two Thrifters, so we don't have a boss that is looking over our shoulder or kicking us in the seat of our pants going, hey,
And it's easy
you need
to
to do the
go.
work or otherwise you're not going to get paid.
It's easy to go, I need the day off.
Yeah, so we're very much a hunter mentality, and so we don't eat unless we go out, kill it, bring it back home, and cook it, right? So we have to really get on it.
Yeah.
We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to be responsible business owners because we got good employees that we have to take care of and keep.
Right.
So with that being said, let's go to number 5.
Set up your system.
It's easier to say that than to do it because when you first start out in this business, you don't really know what you don't know. So you want to kind of keep track of all these things that you're learning and picking up and create a system that works for you. So what does that mean? Well, just to kind of use a success story in the past, there have always been restaurants, and some do better than others, but a guy named Ray Kroc came about and revolutionized the way restaurants were run. And it is the most successful franchise with McDonald's because he created a system where you can maximize profits. You could hire anybody off the streets. They didn't need any skill sets, and you could train them to do their part of the job. And over a period of time, they can cross-train or whatever. But by creating a system that was successful, he succeeded in building the biggest franchise in the world that makes money. So whatever that system is for you on how to source, you're the manager of your time, of your expenses and where you go to source and all that. When you list, are your items ready to be, shot, taken pictures of?
Cleaned.
Is it presentable? Is it in its best light? After you list, do you have a way of marking it in your inventory to know where it goes so when you do sell it, you know where it is, you can find it.
You can find it, right.
And so after you do all that, are you keeping up with your cost of goods? Are you keeping up with all the fees that, is associated with you selling the items?
Like mileage. That's huge.
Well, yeah. So
if you're traveling to source, even if you're just going down to the thrift store down the street, you still need to keep up with that. That adds up at the end of the year.
Yeah. Are you keeping up with the receipts for your office and shipping supplies? All those kind of things. You want to have a system for it. And it doesn't have to be this big, convoluted, complicated
You can
thing.
have a shoebox to throw all your receipts in. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything special, but as long as you're keeping up with it.
Right. Yeah. Keep up with
That's
it
the big thing.
on a daily basis. And then, Jennifer mentioned I like to use spreadsheets. It's very easy for me to create those spreadsheets. And at the end of the week or end of the month or at the end of the year, boom, 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 got my numbers. I know where I'm sitting. Jen, because she does it on paper, and I have to really teach her the benefits of modern technology. All you got to do is plug in your numbers, and it adds it up for you, and all those kind of good things. Okay.
I'm old school.
I had my numbers ready to go on December 31st. Today is the 12th of January.
My taxes are set.
Yeah.
I went through and everything's good to go now.
Okay. So those are 5 things. And now the last thing, the 6th thing. And well, this is as important as all of those other 5. And that is to make sure to take time for your life.
When we first got started, all we did was work. Work, 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 work. And we're getting to the point now to where we understand that we have to take time out. And that's hard to do when you're going to have a business. because you are the owner of that business and you realize that if you don't work, you don't get paid. And so what happens is you just work all the time. Work smarter, not harder, and take time out. If you don't, you will burn out. Trust me. I tried to tell John this in the beginning, and I started seeing his light flickering at the end.
Yeah, because I was working anywhere from at least 10 hours a day to 14 to 16 hours a day.
But he is doing several different things.
Yeah.
So that, that's not just reselling that he's talking about. But yes, being on your feet and doing things 10 to 12 hours a day. But I mean, he's also doing YouTube. He's editing videos. He's now sparking. He's, you've got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I work many hours during the day, but a lot of that is taking care of a child. It's not working, but that's still work. It's exhausting. It's good work, but it's tiring.
The benefits are different than cash.
Yes, yes, they are. Okay, so we've got those things down. Do you want to talk about our numbers now for this year?
Yeah, let's talk about our numbers.
Okay. So our numbers for this year really start in June for John. I did part-time resell the whole year. So really, realistically, it's really just going to be 6 months at the end. This is what we made over 6 months, basically.
7 months.
7 months.
Yeah. June through December is 7 months.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
I am so tired, apparently.
June is the 6 months. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, it's the 6 months, so it's 6 months.
We started in June.
Oh, at the beginning of June. Yeah, okay, so 7 months.
I'm not going to include that in the video.
No, it's fine. I don't care. I'm tired. My brain doesn't always work right, and that's okay.
And we're trying to get this done before baby shows up.
Yeah, he'll be here shortly. Mercari's always been the lowest platform that I sell on. I'm not even positive why I sell on Mercari, but it does bring in some sales. The total amount of items that I sold on Mercari was 31 for the whole year. I made $916.44. My cost of goods, there's no fees associated at the time. There are now. So keep an eye on that. If you sell on Mercari, they have brought back fees. But there were no selling fees for the time period that I'm talking about. So really all I had was my cost of goods, which was $169, which means my net pay for this year from Mercari was $747.44. So then we'll go to Poshmark. I sold a total of, I gave you that piece of paper, where'd it go? It was like 200 and some odd. You didn't put it on the screen.
No, I didn't, but we'll include it right here.
Okay. 200 and something, and it'll be here. Items on Poshmark this year. I made $7,402.40 gross. Net earnings after fees, $5,118.22. The fees for Poshmark, yeah, they were high. $2,284.18. My cost of goods were $1,068. My net pay for the year was $4,050.22. So then we'll talk about eBay.
Yeah, so eBay gross sales was $11,740.72, with net earnings of $9,878.98. Surprisingly enough, the fees and taxes was $1,861.74, so a full $400 less than what Jennifer was charged by Poshmark.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And my cost of goods was $780.49, with my net pay being $9,098.49. So what that means for the year is we sold $20,059.56. That's gross sales for last year.
From June to December.
Right. So net earnings would be $15,913.64, which, by the way, on eBay, I believe they just published that the 1099K is going to be for anybody with over $5,000 in sales. So, I get to have one. The total fees were $4,145.92, which actually is about a little over 20% of the gross sales. And our cost of goods was $2,017.49, roughly 10% of the cost of our gross sales figure. So net pay, $13,896.15. So the taxable income that we'll have from online reselling is actually $15,913.64, which is terrible, right?
Terrible. Yeah.
I mean, if you can live on about $1,000 a month, that's not bad.
Right.
You can't drive anywhere.
Sources of income.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get very comfortable living situation.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. Now, that's not to say that that was our sole sources of income for 2024.
But it was what we consider our full-time job.
Correct.
And so this year, we've got to make a lot of changes and bump that up a lot to get to where we need to be.
Yeah. So, given that we started in June, I would say that we can easily double our gross sales number for this year.
Which would be 40,000.
But that's not enough.
Right.
So if we can get to 60,000, and let's see, net earnings was 15 out of 20. So that is about 3/4 or 75%. So if we hit 60,000 in sales, then 75% of that is 45,000 in net earnings, of which would have to pay taxes. Now, 45,000 in today's world is not even enough for a single person to pay rent and all that kind of stuff.
No.
So we're going to have to take a look at that and see exactly what we can do. But
also, if you're thinking about getting into this, and we should share a few things. We're a 50-something couple. We do not have a mortgage.
Nope.
We do not have a car payment.
Nope.
Therefore,
we have car repairs.
We have a lot of car repairs, but no car payments.
Right.
At this time. So if you take that into consideration,
that's a huge amount of overhead for anybody that's paying rent or mortgage and has car payments.
Right. So you can't just jump into this business and expect it to pay you a full-time income right off the bat. It's a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of learning before you'll get to the point to where you can actually make a living wage doing this. So once again, don't quit your day job. Do it on the side for a while, build up. We're only able to do that because of other things in our life. And we were kind of put in a situation where just the door opened for us to do that. Just take all that into consideration before you jump in.
Yeah. So
we don't want to discourage anyone. Do it. Just don't quit your job yet.
Yeah, we're just trying to be as realistic as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Not to say that other resellers that are YouTubers are not. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
But sometimes I feel like folks paint a prettier picture than it actually is.
Right.
But that's just my perception. I don't know if that's real or not. And so I'm not calling anybody out or anything like that.
No,
I know there are some
Everybody
folks,
has their own way of expressing themselves, and that's perfectly fine.
And I know there are some folks that really look at all the negative stuff, to get more attention and all that. And we're not about that.
Right.
So anyway, if you've been with us for our entire journey, thank you very much. For all of you who have recently subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing. And we're going to try a few different things on our channel. So it's not just talking heads and screenshots and all this kind of stuff. I did get a second GoPro.
We have invested in a second GoPro.
Yeah.
So we're going to get out there at some point and start recording our thrifting journeys. Yes.
Yeah, she'll have one strapped to her and I'll have one strapped to me.
I'm not comfortable with it yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So anyway, hopefully we'll be able to show you some of the sourcing videos, and you'll get to see, how. In the ending of that first clip, our GoPro got overheated. And
cut off.
I was really concerned. I thought, oh my gosh, all that footage is ruined. So this is the new GoPro. It's actually a new old GoPro, but we're shooting on it now.
And the view may be a little different. So if you wonder why, that's why.
And the audio might sound a little bit different, so we apologize beforehand. I'm not going to know until I start editing and putting this all together.
Right.
So anyway, hopefully we'll be able to show you some new things and viral type videos. I don't know. We'll see. But we do appreciate it.
And by the way, thanks, Phil and Vicky. This came from you today.
Yep.
We appreciate the drinks.
Cheers.
Cheers. And I forgot one thing I'm going to mention. When we were talking about the things we've learned for this year, we were talking about doing your research. And that was like one of I think it was the number one thing. And one thing that I forgot to mention, whenever I came back to reselling, after I'd been reselling years ago and I came back, the way that I did research was watching YouTube videos. A lot of YouTube videos. I watched all kinds of resellers and I learned so much. So that's part of the reason we have this passion of trying to share our journey, because that is how I learned everything to get back in. So anyway, with that said, guys, it's been great being here with you guys. We really, really appreciate it. Last year was a hoot. We're looking forward to the fun of this year. We have big goals for our business, although they're kind of slow right now. We have a lot of things going on this month and next month. I made it to the ER at the beginning of this year, and we'll be having my gallbladder out in February. So, and by the way, I did talk to a lot of people at church this morning that have had their gallbladder out, but a gallbladder attack is not fun. So if you've had your gallbladder out, put it in the comments. I can't believe the number of people that are like, I've had mine out. I've had mine out. It's like everybody's had their gallbladder out. So anyway, that attack was not cool. So anyway, with that said, in February, I'm going to be laid up for just a little while. I don't think it'll be terrible, but I probably will be out for a little bit. And we also have a little trip that we're making in February. So, there's going to be some crazy things going on for the first. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, I was just thinking, we'll be going to Southern California, and it just came to mind with all the fires that have been happening out there. Our thoughts and prayers are with just so many families.
So many. We have family
that have lost everything.
We have family that's been affected by
it.
We have a family member who lost their home. It's a very sad situation. Yeah. Very sad. So if you're in California, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and we'll be seeing you guys before too long. Not all of you, but we'll be down that way. Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to end with life. We do have life. We all do.
Life keeps getting in the way.
It keeps getting in the way of this business. What the heck? Yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. We all have real lives. So love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're looking forward to a fun new year with you guys. And what?
That's it.
That's it.
So until next time,
keep thrifting. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.